Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Charlesgate TV. I'm Mike DeMella. I'm here with P.T. Weinberg. Hello, P.T.
Hello, Michael.
All right.
Doing well, thank you. Yourself?
Very appropriate hello. Nice, I like it.
Small business today.
All business, really. First time ever.
I know.
Good. So what's going on in the news in the real estate world, Boston world? Anything you want to talk about?
Well, let's see. I mean, maybe we could start with the Green Line extension in
More
Somerville.
delays.
More delays. Originally it was 2014, it was pushed 2015, and now it's 2018.
That's right.
So, obviously it's unfortunate that that it's pushed out that long, and who knows what can happen from here. But it's definitely it's a kind of transportation. Obviously, is a core component of revitalization, and along with restaurants and retail and all these things that we're seeing in certain areas of the city that are actually kind of moving through the development transformation, if you will. Areas such as the Seaport and Bullfinch Triangle. But back to Somerville, I mean, that's definitely, it's kind of a tough break. That area, East Somerville, has, certainly the Green Line extension has kind of been a integral component of the kind of optimistic future for that neighborhood, and
it's
pushed back.
It's a bummer.
Yeah,
it's been a topic of conversation since the Big Dig. I mean, it's basically the federal funds are coming for that project as part of the Big Dig deal.
Yeah.
The deadline was supposed to be 2014 for completion. It's been pushed back a couple times now for planning and permitting processes and other things to go on, as well as the economy kind of tanked a bit, which didn't help at all either. But that, in my opinion, will be a big boon. I know not probably all of the neighborhood people feel that way, but into Somerville and into Medford by Tufts as well. For the Green Line, I think it would be a big positive for a lot of those neighborhoods. Again, adding good public transportation is a key component to sort of establishing a solid neighborhood. I mean, you saw something like that happen with Davis Square and the Red Line years ago, which really totally revitalized Davis Square. It's now sort of a great neighborhood in Somerville. So I think we'll see the same things happening. It's just a matter of actually getting it off the ground and getting the first stakes sort of in the ground, so to speak, and keep that project moving on. Hopefully, it really is just a delay and not an inevitable project that doesn't happen. And we'll see. I don't know what the restrictions are on the federal funds if the project goes beyond 2014, but that's clearly not a target that can be hit at this point.
No, yeah, and it's I think a lesson here for the consumer in general is just don't count your chickens before they hatch, so to speak. And I think a lot of people were kind of thinking that this was very imminent and a no-brainer, and again, hopefully it happens, and obviously the timetable's pushed well back, and hopefully that's as far out as it goes. But you have some people that were, I want to buy any Somerville, I got the train coming, it's going to be a good investment, 4 or 5 years, I'm gonna it's going to be a lot more valuable and this or that, and if that was the rationale behind the decision, obviously that's a setback. So you just want to be you want to just do your due diligence and get all the information, and before you start making any major decisions based on plans, you want to make sure that those plans are actually moving through the pipeline. And
I mean, but at the same time, in this case, I mean, the plans sort of were moving through the pipeline, and so it's again, when you just, it is important to get some local knowledge and information on what's going on and research it if that's what your decision making process. Not to say some of those neighborhoods are not good neighborhoods.
Oh no, absolutely.
But,
I mean, it's very convenient to the city over there. It's a good spot. There's One First glass factory conversion. I mean, there's a lot of development over in that area, where that area is drastically improved from where it was 5 years ago, even without the train.
Right.
As you head out that way.
Yeah. So, exactly. And again, I think this comes into the larger point of neighborhood revitalization and sort of what can happen as transportation comes in, as new development comes in, and we've seen that, as you mentioned earlier, in the Bullfinch Triangle area with a new project slated to break ground this week, 286 apartments, retail and restaurant space as well, just across from the TD Garden now. So it's interesting, and there's a few other projects in the works over there to bring a lot of apartments in and some more retail restaurant space to make that more of a full-time neighborhood, so to speak. Now it's basically when the Celtics and Bruins games, people are in the neighborhood, but
it's an 80-90 year neighborhood.
80-90, exactly. 80, well, unless the playoffs go long like they did this year.
Well, they certainly did, didn't they?
Last couple of years with the Celtics too. So yeah,
that's true.
So, but But no, so it's an interesting thing to look at when you see neighborhoods really developing and coming into their own.
Yeah.
Again, the Bullfinch Triangle, I think, is an example of that, is how things will change there. The Seaport's really booming now. You've seen the restaurants coming in first, basically some of the hotels and some of the early apartments like Park Lane Seaport. But now you've got a lot on the drawing board now coming on. We've met with, personally met with several developers over there that have some pretty cool plans in the works, and I expect. You're looking at 2013, 2014, you're going to see a lot of stuff being completed in occupancy starting over in a lot of those buildings. Most of them are apartments right now, but I suspect some of them will convert to condos as the economy improves.
Yes.
Or some more condo projects in the works as well. You get office project, you get commercial space over there, so-called innovation district over there. So that's another totally revitalized neighborhood that's coming along as the economy recovers and development happens. It's exciting for the city for sure.
New frontier down there, Michael.
It's a new frontier there, new frontier in Fenway to some degree.
Yeah.
Although that's been going on a little bit longer, and new frontier in Bullfinch Triangle area. I mean, there's a lot of cool sort of developing, expanding neighborhoods. People are always asking that question too. What's the next hot area? What's the next hot area? And it's tough to say, but those three areas are where a lot of development is going on for sure.
Yeah.
And we'll see what kind of ownership opportunities or apartment rental opportunities are there, and what gets established in those neighborhoods. But those are certainly the hot new neighborhoods, I would say, right now. But we'll see what happens. Again, like you said earlier, there's no way of knowing for sure. There's things in the planning process, but it's tough to judge timeline. There's just the development process, whether it's a public project like the Green Line or a private project like apartments and retail and office or commercial space. You just never know. There's so many variables involved. The timeline is extensive.
A lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous.
That's exactly, indeed.
If you can email us the name of that movie quote, you get a free subscription to Charlesgate TV.
Wow, that's a generous gift right there. Yeah, you didn't run that one by the producer, did you?
I didn't.
No, geez, we can't be giving those away. But yeah, indeed, if you can guess the movie quote, we'd love you forever, I suppose, at the very least. But anyway,
trying to incentivize people.
Yeah, that's a good point too. That was completely.
It's a little weird. A little weird. It's all right.
So, but anyway, but I think we're seeing a lot of cool things going on in the city right now, and as the economy hopefully recovers, all of this, in my opinion, debt deal isn't the greatest thing that happened, but suffice it to say, hopefully the economy will continue to recover with private business, investing and spending and money, and I think job creation in Boston is going to be pretty exciting with the so-called innovation district in the Seaport area as well. So there's a lot of good things. I don't know. I mean, I'm excited personally speaking.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's just nice to really see, and then to a degree, obviously, with our profession, become a part of these different areas, and just because our profession calls for us to really stay in tune with this stuff. You read that much more about it, you get that much more excited about it, and I think it's definitely going to be an exciting time in the city over the next 4 or 5, 10 years.
Yeah, now that everything's gaining really actually, well, I should say starting to gain traction for the most part, other than the Green Line as we started out with. But still, given that, it is really, really super exciting, and I think the city is really coming along, and not that it isn't a great place to live already, but coming to more housing opportunities, which is very much needed.
Yeah.
On both the purchase ownership side and the rental side. So hopefully we'll continue to see that, even though the only problem with a lot of these projects is they're all sort of high-end prices starting at $2,000 for a studio type of deals, which is fine, but again, we also need some more of I think an affordable places for a lot of people to live, for instance. So hopefully we can find a way to create those type of housing opportunities as well. And we'll see. So that may occur with some sort of other redevelopments or some of the properties already exist.
The general rule is, about 10% of everything coming in the pipeline is going to be affordable. We'll have affordable components to it.
Generally speaking, sure.
That tends to be, there's a difference between the affordable in Boston. Still, there's given where the median incomes are and everything, it's still there's a good target demographic of younger professionals that maybe at the beginning of their career, but certainly could potentially fit into that category of being able to qualify for affordable units.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, no doubt. Of course, absolutely. So, so that's that. We'll see how everything pans out in the pipeline, but lots of fun things going on.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, anything else you have to add today, or
Nope. No, I'm good.
that's it? Just hard stop, just like that? Nope.
Just all business today, like I said. We're in,
No
we're out.
props.
No props.
Damn it.
No
Just looking for
nominal
props.
jokes.
Yeah, no jokes either.
I mean, I'm sure you told everyone you'd love them forever. There's really not much I can say.
That was a little
I just
anticlimactic.
want to get off the camera at this point.
Anyway, thank you for tuning in again to this week's episode of Charlesgate TV. We hope to see you next time. And don't forget about the movie quote. If you can guess it, guess it. See ya. See you next week.